You are holding a smartphone. Inside it is a machine connected to dozens of satellites orbiting thousands of kilometers above Earth. Open a map, and within seconds, you know exactly where you are. For most of human history, this would have looked like magic, which raises a disturbing question. How did people create remarkably accurate maps centuries before satellites, airplanes, or even modern science? How did ancient cartographers draw coastlines they had never seen from above? And why do some ancient maps appear so accurate that they continue to puzzle historians today? The answer is stranger than most people think. Because ancient map makers were not working blindly. They were looking at the sky. For thousands of years, sailors understood something fundamental. The Earth may be vast, but the stars are predictable. Night after night, the same celestial patterns returned. And by carefully measuring the position of stars, ancient navigators could estimate where they were on the planet. The Greeks were among the first to transform this knowledge into science. Around 240 BC, a scholar named Eratosthenes made an astonishing discovery. By comparing the angle of sunlight in two Egyptian cities, he calculated the circumference of the Earth. His estimate was surprisingly close to the modern value. Think about that. More than 2,000 years ago, without telescopes or satellites, humans already knew the approximate size of the planet they lived on. Once you know the size of Earth, mapping becomes much easier. But size alone was not enough. Ancient sailors also became masters of navigation. The Phoenicians crossed vast distances using the stars. Polynesian navigators sailed thousands of kilometers across the Pacific Ocean without compasses. They memorized the movement of stars, ocean swells, winds, bird migrations, and even cloud formations. To modern observers, it seems impossible. To them, it was simply knowledge. Generation after generation, information accumulated. Every voyage added new details, every coastline was refined, every mistake corrected. Ancient maps were not created by a single genius sitting in a room. They were collective memory made visible. And sometimes this process produced extraordinary results. One of the most famous examples is the Piri Reis map. Created in 1513 by Ottoman Admiral Piri Reis, the map accurately depicts parts of Europe, Africa, and South America. When historians first examined it in the 20th century, some people made extraordinary claims. They argued that the map showed Antarctica centuries before its official discovery. Others suggested lost civilizations, even extraterrestrials. But historians eventually found a simpler explanation. Piri Reis himself wrote that he compiled his map from many older sources, including Portuguese charts and possibly maps dating back to the time of Alexander the Great. The mystery was not hidden technology, it was accumulated knowledge, and this reveals something important. Ancient people were not less intelligent than us. They simply possessed different tools. Instead of satellites, they had centuries. Instead of GPS, they had stars. Instead of digital databases, they had civilizations continuously sharing information across generations. Of course, ancient maps were far from perfect. Many contained sea monsters. Entire continents were misplaced. Huge regions remained blank. One famous medieval map placed Jerusalem at the center of the world. Not because cartographers were confused, but because maps often reflected beliefs as much as geography. Ancient maps were not only descriptions of reality, they were descriptions of how people understood reality. And that distinction matters, because the most surprising thing about ancient maps is not that some were astonishingly accurate. It is that humans managed to understand so much about a planet they had never seen from space. No satellite, no aircraft, no photographs, only observation, memory, mathematics, and the night sky. The next time you open Google Maps, remember something. Long before satellites orbited Earth, humans were already mapping the world. They simply used a different kind of technology, civilization itself.